Hey folks, I'm HP and this is Dr. Pink. And today's big topic is an extended advanced blues tutorial where we learn that it's really essential about blues, but in the advanced level. If you have missed the basic essential blues course, it's really and you're a beginner, it's recommended first do that, otherwise you are not able to follow this one here. Good. Now what I'm going to talk about here, advanced blues. Blues is a very simple musical form, and you can really go through blues with very low theoretical knowledge and probably just a few things you can play. And of course, many people say the blues is not a technical thing, is not a thing of knowledge, it's about feeling the blues. I must agree. People like Muddy Waters or John Lee Hooker is for me a very good example. He was not the greatest guitar player, I must say, but he really had blues. I mean, if you don't get into this real blues feeling, it's a little bit hard to explain why to go further in blues or why it's needed to do these things. Of course, both is needed. But still, when it comes to why should I learn more in blues when some people only do the basics or just do very few things but fill it up with emotions, probably it's like with a pizza. I brought this joke on the previous advanced blues tutorial as well, and it's because it's true. It's like with a pizza. If you have the pizza margherita with only cheese and tomatoes, if you're hungry after the pizza, you're not hungry anymore. But probably if you eat the pizza all the time, it gets boring. And so it's really cool if you know more stuff. You can develop blues, get more and deeper into things, and that's why you do advanced blues concepts and why it really makes sense. And I have many students who come into my studio here and they say, hey man, I play like for 30 years, and these people can play. They say, yeah, but I'm bored to death. I don't know what to play anymore. And they basically play always the same thing. Yeah. So it's good always to develop and get further into music. And that's what this Blues Advanced course is about. Yeah, so let's first start now with the form. Advanced blues form. Well, there's not much to say if you know the standard blues, for which is basically the 12-bar blues, meaning I'm going to play it quickly and I don't really go in details which chords I play, it's just about the form. So we have playing A, 1 bar A, 1 bar D, this is an example in A, 1 bar A, 2 bars A, 2 bars D, 2 bars A, 1 bar E, 1 bar D, 1 bar A. So this is the standard blues form with quick change, means that on the second bar, instead of playing 4 bars A, we play 1 bar D. So this is called quick change. But there are some, if we want to get more in stuff, you can alter the form like to 8 bars or 20 bars as long as you follow these different steps in between with those 3 chords. But if you want to make it really cool, or if you really want to give a new touch to it, you can also add some other chords. Let's check those out. At the beginning, you don't hear a difference. And let's do it like this. I'm playing now with bigger chords. I'm going to show some more chords afterwards. Don't worry. So now it's just about the form. So 1 bar A, 1 bar D, 1 bar A, 1 bar D, D sharp diminished, 1 bar A, F sharp 7, B7, E7, A7, F sharp, B7, E7. So this was a more complex form, pretty much near to jazz blues, but it still works with normal blues. What are these chords in between? Whatever you can, I can give you now extended theory on that. These are secondary dominants, as you call them, like this. But you don't need to know the expression is. Does you know that it's possible? Means like when you come to D, then you go to. You can also skip the D sharp diminished, which I said, and then 1 bar A, 1 bar F sharp. You can have 1 bar B7 or B minor to E7, whatever you want. This comes more for the jazzy side. So these are more possibilities which are available on the form, but they're not really needed to make complex or advanced blues stuff, just if you want to have more possibilities. So now let's see how those chords are played. Now let's see different types of chords which you can play. Blues, when you say blues, we always talk on 7 chords. In this case, the example is in A. So A7, D7, and E7, or the F sharp 7, and stuff like that. But if you want to make it more nice and smooth, you can do some little chord tricks. So instead of playing this normal A7 with the bar A, it's pretty boring. You play this A7 here. 5th, 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 pink in the 6th. A string is damped. And now comes a trick. When you play, you want to add some more tension. You make out of this, you make a A13. 5th, 5th, 6th, 7th. See? When it comes then to D, instead of playing a boring D7, which sounds terrible, you play a D7 normal. Either like this, 5th, 4th, 5th, or you can play like this, D7, this C type, 5th fret, 4th, pink in the 5th, and Enix in the 3rd. But you also can play D9, which would be like this. 5th, 4th, and this one makes a bar A on the 5th. See? D9. Cool. So you have A7, D9, A7, and now at the end of on the 4th bar you want to have more tension, which goes more than to D. Then you play the A13. Now you go to D7. Now you want to have this little motion as well. You first play this D7. Then with the E, we also can make E9. D9 works great, and then back to A. Now at the end, we can make a turnaround instead of doing the normal thing. You can turnarounds on the last 2 bars. We can make turnarounds. They'll go like this, either like this, A7, A7. D7, A7, E. That would be a turnaround, a standard turnaround, or you can do the one which I showed in the form before. A7, F sharp 7, B7, E7. It's up to you which one you like more, of course. So both are called turnarounds because they turn or spin around a little bit. Yeah. If you want to play A9, you also can play like this. A9, this is also very nice chord here, 4th, 4th, 5, 5. If you play in a band, you can play like this because there's no bass needed. If you play alone, you need to take the bass with the thumb. Now you have an A9. See, cool. I don't use that too often. I either just use it like this. Yeah. So these are ways you can play chords. What you also can do, you can play the upper chords. Like from this one here, instead of this A13, you play like this on the upper 4 strings. Here, 5th, 6th, 7th, and this is 15th, so here's a barre. This is A13 as well, but that only works in a band because the bass note is missing. And when you want to play D9 like this, you can also play like this. Index, barre in the 5th and index in the 4th. This is also D9 without the bass note, because this would be like this. So that's really up to you what you want to choose. So you can play a mixture out of that also works pretty well. So these are more chord things which you can do. Now let's talk about rhythm or timing in general. Shuffle blues is basically based on triplets. What are triplets again? To repeat triplets, you count this, you count 1, 2, triplets are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The shuffle groove is playing the first and the third triplet and num the middle one. Da, got 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. That's the shuffle groove. So if you want to have a proper timing in any kind of soloing, you need to understand the basics of the rhythm or the timing. So if you have this would be the tempo. So now you can play either triplets. I'm going to play the A minor pentatonics now. So triplets 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or in shuffles, now 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now sometimes and very often blues is pretty slow. As an example, let's take this example here. It's a little bit fast, but it still works. Now, if you want to have a proper timing, you have to really manage at least those two timing signatures, triplets and shuffled eights. But what happens when you want to go to double time? What is double time? It's when you want to play fast. These were sextoles. What are sextoles? In this case, they're pretty fast, but you still can hear the difference. Sextoles, so when you count 1, 2, are 6 per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I play now slow. Now this is shuffled 8. Triplets. Sextols. Yeah. One problem when you want to practice sextols with a pentatonic, it doesn't really fit because not enough notes. When you play the blues scale, it fits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's try with the track. So if you want to go into double time, double up the speed, triplets to sextols. There is a little bit, the problem with the sextols is when they get fast, you're not able to count them anymore because you need to get the feeling of the sextols. Then it just you need to just get the feeling of sextols, and then you can really start to improvise on any kind of track. But they really come mostly when the track is a little bit slower than this one here, because then triplets are too slow and you need to do something which sounds faster. And in this case, you really need to have the sextols together that you can play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, you know what I mean. Yeah, so that's about the basic timing on shuffle blues. If you play a straight ahead blues like, then of course when you play 8, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and the next double time would be 16th, so with 4. And if you practice timing, you should be able to play each timing signature one after each other in the exact same metronome beat to understand the difference between them. Because when you play, for example, sextols very slow, they sound like triplets. But the problem is it has to be on time when the beat is like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, so this is about timing. Now I talk about scales. Which scales you can now use in the advanced improvisation concept. When you remember the basic one, it was only the minor pentatonics and the blues scale, but now we add 2 new scales, and these are going to check it out. We have an example in blues in A. Now we can play. Of course we practice, we play the A minor pentatonics. That will be this one here. That one always works. The blues scale is in the other one. Yeah, but now we want to add something new, and I said in the introduction, we want to have some more than only tomato and cheese on our pizza. So we can also play the major pentatonics. Wow, what's that? If you had never ever heard of major pentatonics, it's very easy. This was the minor pentatonics. But now you move it down 3 frets, zoop, and now instead this becomes the root note. Now you play the exact same pattern from here. See? This is now the A major pentatonics. What is important, if you also would play in the next position, this one here, because then we're more near to the original A minor pentatonics. So this is the easiest way to switch to the major pentatonic, but we also need to have this one together. This works like this. But if you know the minor pentatonics by heart, all of them, it's very easy. Just play position 2, and now this is the root note. So this is a major pentatonic. And once you practice this, also just learn where the third note is, because that one will be very important. See, this one, 1, 2, this one, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, this one. Because this is the triad of the A major pentatonic. See? Yeah. Now, additional, we also add the Mixolydian scale. The Mixolydian scale is the major pentatonics plus 2 additional notes. And we could take it here. So this is till here still the same. Now there comes the initial note, this one here, and then there was a plus this and this one here. And here also you need to know where the third note is. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now third and the first note are very important. The first note from the improvisation concept from the basics, and the third one for now the advanced. But now comes a little bit the tricky thing. The major pentatonic can only be used on the related chord. So if you play A major pentatonics, you can only play it when A7 is played. Yep. Then when it switches to D, you need to play the D major pentatonics or the D Mixolydian scale. The easiest way to do that, just go up here to D or Mixolydian. The other way would be stay in position, and that one I also recommend, because to keep the orientation in the root position where we are coming from the minor pentatonics in position 1, and we want to stay more or less in the position, but still need to figure out the other possibilities. So D major pentatonic or D Mixolydian would, this is the D, would be like this. And again, check out where the third note is. We're gonna see it when it comes to the licks. Here's the third note. Root again. You just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. So this is the D Mixolydian scale here in position. See, that works pretty well. When it comes to E, either you move up here in the 12th fret, play the same like on the A, or just move the other one up 2 frets. Yep. These are now the scales which are used. I was talking about the turnaround earlier when I was talking about the form. We don't go in detail on the turnaround chords. That was F sharp 7 and on B flat. They work differently, but we're gonna skip those because otherwise it gets too complicated. Good. So Now let's see how we work with the improvisation concept, how the licks work with the new scales we learned. Now talking about licks with major pentatonics or with mixolydian. Compared to the minor pentatonics, you don't play the same way. Before we learned by the third note is very important, because like 99.9% of the major pentatonic or mixolydian licks start on the approach note to the third note, the triad. So the approach note is one half note below. That's why it's called approach note, because it approaches the whole thing. See? So this was now a major pentatonic lick, just with this approach note. See how that works great. Really cool. Then you can repeat it 1 octave here. Then when it comes to D, of course, you move the lick on the new chords. Now I switch to D major pentatonics. See? Or see? And of course the same thing on A, E as well. That really works out great. Or like this one is also. This is also something very typical one. Here we start on the approach note. Here's again the third note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So the approach note to the third. Back to approach note. Then you do the same thing in D. In position here. 6, 7. 5, 7, 5, 6, 7, 7, or up here. See, both work. And on A, E, or here. They really work out cool. When it comes to mixolydian, there's another thing which also very typical for mixolydian. Is the 7th note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one. Very typical for mixolydian. And you make this half tone bending. Half tone bending here on the 6th note. And see, I'm gonna do this against our approach note. 3, and here the half tone bending. And this gives this typical mixolydian sound. Here again, 6, 7, 5, 7, half tone bending. See? Yeah, that's how licks work, more or less. Always work with this approach note. Something like that's also a cool one in A. Half tone, approach note on the third. Again, approach on the third note. See? Now let's see how they sound with a track. Then just get an impression. Now to D. Yeah, see, they work pretty well. By the way, the backing track is available on my backing tracks CD, I think on the second one. But you can take any blues backing track in A or whatever key you want. That's no problem. Yeah, that's how the licks work in Mixolydian in or and major pentatonic. Now I come into the final notes of this course here, and this is a more philosophical type of discussion. When do I use which type of scale? What kind of expression what I want to achieve? And this cannot really be solved with this discussion. It's a personal taste. But what for sure makes sense is that you really work it out and see how it works for you. I'm going to give play a few examples now that you can see when you can add which one and which effect does it have, and it's pretty cool. That you know, and I give further explanation, see the difference between one after each other. Now I'm just going to play a little bit and just give comments what I'm just doing, that I see the difference what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to start with major pentatonics. Now I switch to minor and to major, 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 major. Now I start with minor pentatonic. I want to get more dramatic. See how the mood just changed. Now I go to major. The mood gets a little bit relaxed, back to more dramatic. Now I stay on minor. You probably now see now that the mood changes. Either you choose one or the other one. And sometimes it's also cool, playing the scales is not meant that you play the scales up and down. It's the slight little things which you can do and which make a difference, like this little lick here. Here at approach note on the 3. This is now A major pentatonic. This is a lick. When it changes to D, is just one note which changes. This one here. And this, if you just can add stuff like this. And when it goes to E, this one is the third note in the major pentatonics. And when you just can target those notes, that makes the big difference. And it's, as I said, it's not about playing scales up and down. Let's see how it sounds, the slight little differences. See, now it really pops out like, wow, that was really cool. Now go back. Now the one. we're slowly coming to the end of this Blues Advanced tutorial course, essential thing, I don't know what I call that one. I hope you got the main message out, is I wanted to open up more possibilities which you can do in blues. But still, the improvisation concept with question and answer, which was showed in the basic blues course, is also very important. But I didn't want to mix up things here, because I don't want to make it too complicated. This is just as an ad. But still, if the foundation of the basic blues course is not laid, you cannot do the advanced, or you cannot fully understand the advanced. So if you miss the basic one, even if you're an advanced player and you've never heard about question, answer, motif development, probably you go through at least the improvisation part of the basic course to understand. And then you can add the stuff, and once you can start to develop motifs also with this new material now which you got, then it starts to get really interesting. And then blues is not a really simple music form anymore. As I said at the beginning, still it's a pretty simple music form, but then you can really work up cool stuff and little things which make your playing and your expression much sophisticated, and of course more fun to play, and you're not bored to death if you play minor pentatonics all the time. Yeah, there's Dr. Pink. You want something to say something? I don't know. Yeah, he has enough. Or she has enough. Just we decided Dr. Pink is a she. Me and a few fans. So she has enough. And yeah. If you still have questions, you always can book a private online lesson. A link is on my website. If you just want to support the channel, you can make a donation. If you want to follow me, my thoughts as a musician, stuff like that, follow me on Instagram. Yeah, that's more or less what to say. Backing tracks, you find tons of it on iTunes, HPCrazy. You can practice the stuff in any key you like. I mean, it doesn't matter. The system is always the same. Even I always use A as a standard key, because I don't know, most already can play A, but you can play that stuff in any key you like. Yeah, so me and Dr. Pink are signing off, and stay tuned.